Hey, it's Jave and Andy from Two Dudes Reviews.
How's it?
I kind of like this better. The last video review we did, you gave me that kind of creepy look. I look like Alex Jones being interviewed by what's-her-face, Megyn Kelly on.
Yeah. Did we switch places? No, the light's better on.
The light's better on you. You look like a happy person, and I've got this weird shadow right here, and I told you to bring your lighting system.
I think that's what our branding guy says. He says, you're the crazy looking one, and I'm the clean-cut guy.
Yeah, it's the hair and
whatever.
Stuff. And then we got this crazy guy. This is Ken Anthony from KLOS in Los Angeles, everybody. He's a big side radio DJ.
Hey, guys.
And also works for All Access. Now, All Access is not a backstage pass manufacturer or anything like that. In a nutshell, Ken, what do you guys do at All Access, and what's your particular position there?
I'm the rock editor there. We promote music.
Okay.
And obviously, I help promote rock. And one of the bands we're going to be talking about today, I'm involved with helping promote as well.
Yeah.
So that's the deal.
Papa Roach. Here's the CD. It's called Crooked Teeth, and it has this crazy-looking person with horrible jowls. How do your teeth compare to this? First, oh, look at that. In the straight teeth business.
I was born with these, by the way. I never had braces. Eat your heart out.
It's a
Whoever
new.
had braces.
You guys have beautiful teeth.
Thank you so much.
A new music review. Papa Roach and Crooked Teeth on Two Dudes Reviews. We're back.
That's James' favorite part.
So we're just going to kind of cruise through the record here. Before we get into cut number one called Break the Fall, actually we can kind of start it because it starts off rather slow and dreamy. Ken, you had the opportunity to actually hang out with the guys in the studio in Los Angeles. Tell me a little bit about some of the background of what you heard from being in the studio.
Yeah, I got an invite through All Access to go and hang with the guys, Jacoby and the guys, at their studios. This was a couple months ago before, and the album obviously has been out for a few weeks, so it was going to be coming out in about a month. And I had a chance to go through and listen to the entire record with the guys there. And it's really great when you're with a band and they're playing the music for you because they're going to tell you all about it. And Jacoby would get so hyped. I mean, he would literally be singing a lot of the songs. Yeah. And finally, there was one point when I felt like saying, hey, can I actually hear it without you singing? But he's a great guy, and I think this is a really great record for these guys.
All I want to know is who is the fiddle player? I mean, what is that? Hey, fiddle in the background.
Oh.
Great fiddle player.
Did they borrow the guy from Blue October?
He maybe borrowed the guy from Blue October. Cut number one, Break the Fall.
I got my back to the wall and now I'm slipping. Been trying to deal with the thoughts and my condition. And still I try to hang on to what I'm missing. But something's setting me off, somebody listen. I've been running from fate without a lifeline. But now I'm
almost a little POD. It almost sounds like he's gotten back to some of his roots from that first album in Fest where it's a little more rap-oriented.
Yeah.
I've been hanging by a thread with my feet over the edge. Got my back against the wall. Will this nightmare ever end? Will I break before then? If I slip and lose it all, nothing's gonna break the fall.
All right, so there you go. There's cut number one. He's a hook writing machine.
Hook writing machine. So to kind of preface kind of my, I'm just the everyday guy. I'm not a professional radio dude like you guys, but I've been a musician my whole life. So for me, I was never a Papa Roach fan. I just never got into him, right? And it could have been that rap thing. I was deathly opposed to rap for many years, and maybe my mind's opening a little bit, but I've been listening to this album now for a couple of weeks, and I could be a Papa Roach fan, maybe broadening my horizons, and because there's such a range, I think I now have respect for this guy because I've listened to it, whereas before I might not have. Because I was opposed to the rap side of things.
Andy, it's interesting what you're saying. When I was talking to these guys, if you listen to this record, we all remember their big song that kind of broke them, Last Resort. And if you listen to Last Resort, it's not only a great rock song, but it definitely has the rap rock influences. And they've been around for a long time. And one of the things that Jacoby said is it's almost as though they were kind of doing the same type thing. They wanted to kind of get back to the roots. So they have a new producer on this record, a guy by the name of Roz, a young guy who I also met in the studio. And he's the guy that really pushed, okay, get back to those rap rock roots. And so it's kind of a rebirth in many ways. So you're right on the money. I mean, it's fresh sounding too. It's really, really strong.
Yeah. And again, it's almost like me listening to these guys for the first time because, well, you've heard their hits and you hear it on the radio. But as far as digging deep into an album or something like that, I had never done it. So I had never owned a Papa Roach album. I knew of them. I'd heard them, but I was not a fan. Becoming a fan.
Yeah.
All right, cut number 2 is Crooked Teeth.
Locked up in my hurricane head. Bloody knuckles paint the whole place red. Straight jacket, straight Tommy to the bed. All alone in a room full of misfits. Cold-blooded, cold-hearted on the hit list. Paranoid, struggling, I gotta kick this. Everybody's looking at me, not staring at me. Everybody's looking at me. Terrified, paralyzed, something's got a hold of me. Let me go, I can't stay. I'm choking on my crooked day. Wake me up if I sleep. 'Cause
All right, yeah, this song brought to you by Jacoby Orthodontics. That's nice. Yeah, you know, it's interesting to me. There's some bands that you go and see them live and you're blown away and they have a tough time capturing that energy in the studio. Papa Roach is one of those bands. You go and see them live, and they take this energy in the studio and amp it up to 11.
Right.
But they do a great job of capturing that energy on the record.
I want to say the deluxe version of this has, because that's what I got on Amazon Prime, has a live recording from the Fillmore in Detroit.
Okay.
After it. So you got disc 1, which is this, right? And then you've got the live. And I've been trying to listen to that as I go along in my busy life, and so catching it here and there. But it's true because you listen to that live album, there's a lot of energy to it.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, you've met Jacoby before, right?
Oh,
Several.
yeah.
They're from Sacramento area, and you know he's always, every time I've met him, he's like a big kid. He's got so much energy and enthusiasm, and I think that's why, you know, on the records and you know, when they're playing live, and even when I'm in the studio trying to listen with them, it's like, hey, check this out, you know. I mean, and so I think it comes across, and that's what makes them so cool to listen to.
You know, I almost put everybody's personality into dog eyes, into dog perspective. So he would be the Chihuahua, and Andy would be like, I don't know, the Great Dane or something. And
You know about Chihuahua.
No.
And,
I
and
gotta
Ken
be a
is
bull-
all about Capri.
I got to be a bulldog,
right.
man.
Wait, where's your dog tonight, Ken? He's not joining.
She's laying out on the patio.
Okay,
I'm
nice.
keeping her out there because if she comes in and wants to lick the screen, I'll let you see.
All right.
I might call her in later.
Cut 3, My Medication.
Until you beg me to stay, just for the thrill of the chase. You got me fucked in the head from all the things that we did, but I will never forget. I need you, my medication.
Wow, very cool. Love the dynamics in there.
Yeah.
Have you ever had enough of it? Straight over it, sick of it, can't get a hold of it. Like a drug, I need another fix. I'm a moth to a flame and I'll burn for the hell of it. Not a scar cause I lost the fight. Every time I take a breath, it's like I'm losing my life. Fuck it, why am I so dysfunctional? So irrational, I don't know what to do. So I push you away until you beg me to stay. Just for the thrill of the chase. You got me intoxicated, fucked in the head from all the things that we did. But I will never forget. I need you, my medication.
So I would assume he's talking about that, and not necessarily the literal meaning of medication, like an addiction to an opioid or something like that, but maybe a personality addiction. Maybe a lady.
Exactly. What's interesting about this record is obviously the rap elements are there, but their chorus and their hooks, and you both said it earlier, are just so strong on this record, and it's kind of hard to really capture it when we're playing, not the entire record. You have to hear it several times, but I really think it's one of the best things they've done in an awful long time.
Okay, let's move on to Born for Greatness.
Expect Long Chain to come out in a second now.
Again, who's the tuba player, man?
I am a man at war, and I am fighting for all of the broken people, all of the people thrown overboard. They always try to shame us, but they don't speak the language. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. Somebody sound the alarm. Fire was set in the dark. It's time that you know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. It doesn't matter if the world is gone mad, if we just hold on, if we just hold on.
Wow, I almost hear a dance remix on this thing, man. What a great chorus there,
Our songs and we just hold on, yeah. So if you're running, stop running. One life, one chance, start living. Sing it louder just to let the world know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness.
Yeah, and the production elements on this. You could go dubstep with that. You could.
It's going to be big.
This one really stuck out, guys, when I was listening to the record like the first time, and this was one of the ones that Jacoby was real excited about, Born for Greatness. Really, great lyrics, and man, it's catchy as heck. It's really great song.
Papa Roach, again, we're checking out the new album, Crooked Teeth. Moving right along, this is their latest single. The song is called American Dreams.
A soldier bleeds and a soldier dies. Have you ever thought that war was a sickness? I'm a son of it, fucked up from it. Casualty of my family cause of it. We dare to dream or live to die. Reunited by the truth at the right time. Something's wrong here, or so it seems. Cause I'm not sleeping in American dreams. American lies. We're trying to see through the smoke.
This is a good song. However, my critique on this would be that it's awfully predictable. It's not as exciting as that song Born for Greatness that we heard, or the next song that we're about to hear.
Well, I think the dynamic you talked about in the song before, I've peeked over at the CD case, and I love the next song. It's phenomenal. But this song here, you're right, is a little predictable, and
it's interesting how this is the second single, and Jade, you and I can speak to that from being in the business. That the first single, "Help," which is coming up in a couple songs, is fantastic. It was a #1 song at rock radio. This one, I think it's really good, but I personally think there's a couple other ones that are a little bit better on the record. But sometimes the decisions they make are there's management, there's a lot of other factors. I do think that the lyrics on it, talking about American dreams, are a little timely. So maybe there's
apropos.
the message they're trying to maybe put out as well.
Sure.
All right, let's move along to Periscope. This is going to be a smash. Check this out.
Yeah.
It's a firestorm. I'm falling like a loaded weapon in your arms. Paranoid, it might be reckless. No matter what I say, it's only gonna steal your breath and slip away. I don't wanna dive in first. You don't wanna hear these words. It's only gonna make it worse. You don't wanna live that curse. You're telling me to keep my hope, 'cause you've got a heart
Okay, now that's Skylar Grey. Ken, what can you tell us about Skylar Grey? In fact, I showed Andy the video for this song about 2 weeks. Well, it was just this last weekend, and he was in love with her boobs.
Oh, wow, she's hot. Okay.
Yeah, beautiful girl, a singer. She's written some big, pop hits actually. And interesting, the reason she's involved with this is the producer Raz, I guess, had worked with her before or knew her and suggested her, and actually suggested that the guys do, what would be the equivalent of a pop song. And his analogy when I was speaking with he's a very young guy, Raz, was, if you remember back in the day, there'd be bands like Foreigner, would be straight out rock bands, but then they'd have these hit songs like, I don't know, Want to Know What Love Is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some of these bands would have these hit songs. So he said, well, why can't we? Even though they're a rock band, why can't we? And I think it's a really, really strong song. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't doubt that they try and maybe release that to top 40 radio.
God, it should be. It's a great song. And I'm not typically a pop 40 dude, but I listen to that and I just love the kind of the melodic tone to it, her voice coming in. It's just a great song.
Really is.
Now, let me play the other side of the fence there. Growing up, having been a big fan of bands like Metallica and Exodus and Fates Warning and Slayer and stuff like that, for a lot of those, like the guys who are like the metal fans, they're going to listen to a song like this, and it's going to be like Fonzie jumping the shark. It's going to be like, oh man, they sold out. If it gets played at Safeway in the produce section in 3 weeks, and you're in Kohl's looking for a new pair of swim trunks, you're going to be like, God, I'm so tired of that song.
That's an interesting thing. Have you heard the new Linkin Park?
Oh, God.
Linkin Park is basically doing a pop song. But I think when you're mentioning bands like Metallica, they're not going to do something like this. But I think Papa Roach, if you listen to a lot of their melodies, they have strong choruses and strong melodies. I think this was the producer saying, let's try something different. And I think it worked.
Ken, it totally fits. And, the funny thing is, we did a review the other night about a band, and I called them Vanilla. And it's because you know what to expect. You do. You know what to expect every time. It doesn't really change. And then what we're listening to right now, we're listening to bands like Nothing More and Highly Suspect, who have a very, very broad range and a big dynamic. And it goes so far one way or the other. And I love that about this album. There is such a variety of music to listen to all in one record.
One final note before we move on to the next song. What you were saying, Andy, is really apropos, because that's one of the things that Jacoby and the producer were saying. The worst thing we can do is become predictable.
Yes.
And you know what? And so that's why I think this record, throwing something like that in and getting back to their roots, it's not predictable. It sounds fresh, And Jade, you and I have been in the business long enough that when a band comes out and their first record comes out, and say it breaks ground and it's fantastic, there's what they call the sophomore jinx. What's next? And although this isn't a sophomore record, they maybe got 5 or 6. I don't know exactly how many. It is kind of like a return to their roots, and they are doing some different stuff. So that's why I think it sounds fresh.
All right, moving right along. This is the song that introduces us to this latest album. The song is called Help.
I think I need help. I'm drowning in myself. Someone turn the lights out. Or is it just another dark cloud in my head? 'Cause I'm caught deep, my heart won't breathe. Deep down low, it's killing me. If I wanna scratch out yesterday, I've got so much I need to say. I think I need
The old adage, it's all about the hook. Where's the hook? This song starts with it, gets right back into it 56 seconds later, and just wow.
It just hooks all the way.
It became a number one song at the rock format that you and I work with, before even the album came out, when this went to number one, then people were going, okay, we want to hear the rest of the record. So really good choice.
I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, my parents thought I was completely nuts because I would go to sleep every single night with the 8-track player in and these big ass headphones. I'd fall asleep with it, I'd wake wake up with the headphones on. And it's interesting listening to this album with the headphones on because you pick up on stuff that you just don't hear from the stereo or from the radio or from listening to the CD in the car.
Well, I was wondering about the odd shape of your head. Now I understand.
Shut up. All right, cut number 8. Wait a minute. Cut number 9. Cut number 8? Cut number 8. Sunrise.
2, 3, 4, 5,
Sorry.
6, 7, 8.
Shut up. Fucking Andy. This is the Cricket song. No, Sunrise Trailer Park. I'm talking about back to their rap roots.
Rapper.
Yes, definitely a rap song.
Machine Gun Kelly on this particular track. What kind of car is that, Andy?
Yes. It's a lorry if you're in England.
Yeah. What kind of lorry is it?
Lorry. Her name is Lori.
This episode brought to you by beer.
Beer.
I was young and I was reckless, man. Moved out at 17 and made my mama mad. I thought I had it all figured out. A pocket full of pills and a 40 in my mouth. Peeled out in my big block Chevy. Flipped it 6 times and I knew that I was ready to straighten up because my best friend died. I didn't want to carry on living that life. Now I'm running from the scene because I was caught up in the crime. It's a loaded memory. Yeah, it kills me every time. And I'm trying not to scream, but it's eating me alive. I'm still haunted by the best years of my life. Yeah. Let me take y'all back.
Okay, so who wins in a street fight between Machine Gun Kelly and the guys in Papa Roach?
Oh my God! I don't know. Is the guy? Is
I don't
Machine
know,
Gun
man.
Kelly
Yeah.
back in?
You know, it's
Right? Has he got a gun?
yeah,
Because
it's nice to see how they've been able to blend these two styles into one
Yeah.
song and keep the music line pretty
Well,
much.
by the way, if you've talked with him before, if you ask Jacoby, one of his big influences was the Beastie Boys. He loved that band.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of the '90s, kind of grunge and a lot of rap. So it's interesting how it's incorporated in their music, but they do such a great job. I mean, Linkin Park has made a living of doing that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
And like you said, POD. So I think these guys are one of the best at doing it.
All right, let's move right along to Traumatic, cut number 8. You like dancing?
dude, this is the next trailer.
It's so dramatic. I've got these secrets I keep. Acid obvious. They got me down on my knees. God, just let me go. I keep reliving the scene. Oh, it's so dramatic. Dramatic. There's a darkness inside of this cracked head of mine. Locked inside this asylum. I'm done. All my secrets are safe. Some with you, some with fate. Can you read through the lines on my tongue? You're playing broken records. It's like they're on repeat. I know those words you're
Again, this is just such a fun record to listen to because
Yeah.
all the dynamics from the really super heavy to that, all within the span of 60 seconds.
Yeah. It's what makes you want to listen to more.
Very tough to do. The album wraps up with None of the Above. Ooh, very ominous.
This one is one of my favorites.
All right.
Song.
Everybody's fucked up off the beat. The words are in our mouths, but we don't speak. Boarded up the windows in the house. Another generation bleeding out. Don't want no part of this, none of the above. Don't want no part of this, none of the above. I don't want no. Take me to church, 'cause I've been blessed with a curse. I arrived in a limo when I left in a hearse. Yeah, speaking in tongues feels like we're coming undone. Don't want no part of this, none of the above.
Yeah. Wow. None
You
of
know,
the above. Damn.
I love the lyrics on that. Take me to church. I've been blessed with a curse. I arrived in a limo and I left in a hearse. Great song.
That's rock and roll.
Yeah, and
That's rock and roll.
This was one of the ones that Jacoby was real excited about, and this was the one where he was singing at the top of his lungs, and I finally said, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
But I think this is an exceptional song. The lyrics are great, and sometimes, if you've listened to albums, sometimes there's a thought process. What's the first song?
Yeah.
What do we start with, and what do we leave them with? And leaving with this is this could be a big hit single for them as well. I think it's real strong.
It's interesting taking a look at a band like Papa Roach in the live setting. They've been at this kind of pseudo opener support level act. And this could be the album that finally takes them to the headliner arena stage.
See, and I because I've never been to a Papa Roach show.
Oh.
How are they not a headliner now? I know they've been around for
they can
so
headline
long.
some smaller clubs,
Right.
800, maybe even 1,500 seat theaters.
Okay.
But as far as
they're playing at festivals like Rock on the Range. They're always, usually they're not quite a headliner, but they may be the second or third from the headliner, and they always put on a dynamic show. But I think to answer your question there, Andy, Last Resort was a huge song, and Jave could tell you a lot of rock stations still play it, and they've had other hits, but I think in order to get that headline status, you have to have humongous hits on a consistent basis, so that the fan base is there to not only support you on the record, but to go and see you. And I think if this was their second album after that first Last Resort, and it was successful, that may have happened. But I agree with you, Jave. I think they deserve it. It's a really solid record.
Dynamite.
Well, I think, I think I'm more of a Papa Roach fan than I was before. And no, I've been listening to it's one of the benefits. I don't have a problem saying it, right? I mean, I've listened to music my whole life, and I've been a musician pretty much my whole life. But we all tend, I think, to get into a rut. We listen to the same shit over and over again, right? And I find myself doing that a lot. And now, because we're reviewing some music and kind of doing some of this stuff, and my exposure, I mean, Jave has exposed me to some amazing music that I never would have found or listened to. Yeah. Some that I listen to and love, and some I listen to and go, well, that shit, I don't like it. But ultimately, it is that. And so I can see myself now hanging out, playing, cornhole or horseshoes or bocce ball in the backyard, going, hey, let's listen to some Papa Roach, right?
So
I can see that.
Here is the swag they gave me. I don't know if you could see this.
I'll bring it up. There
see
you
the
go.
Papa Roach, see?
Papa Roach, yeah.
And then, of course, there's the Roach.
Yeah.
Some,
right?
Oh, dude, I would wear that.
And then it's the Papa Roach shirt.
Shit, yeah,
all right. So they not only played music for me and Jacoby talked my ear off, but they gave me some swag.
They gave me swag. That's
All
always
right.
good, brother.
Hey, check it out. We've got some big stuff on the horizon. We're going to be speaking with the guys in Greta Van Fleet.
Oh, my gosh.
Greta Van Susteren. Greta Van Fleet.
That's a big one.
For an upcoming new music review.
Ken, I want to know your ideas on that. What do you think of those guys?
Great band. I told Jave about them, I think, about a month ago. And, I work on this rock station here in Los Angeles, KLOS, and the program director is such a fan of them that they're actually going to be on KLOS tomorrow afternoon on a show called Jonesy's Jukebox with Steve Jones, who was in the Sex Pistols. So they're not playing in Los Angeles, but the record label's bringing them into town just so they could be on that show in the middle of the day, because these are 18 and 19-year-old kids that are channeling Zeppelin, and incredibly exciting. So.
Yeah.
Watch out for these guys. That's great that you're going to have them on the show.
We're going to have them on Friday.
And also keep in mind that make a comment to these videos here. This month, our big promotion, make a comment, and at the end of the month, Andy's going to send you a bag of Warrior Roasters coffee, and I'm going to send you a thing of Packard's Club Snuff right here. It's the Club Snuff. It's the Club Snuff. I'm not doing the white
Jave,
stuff.
while I'm on your fantastic show, can I plug a podcast that I'm on?
Oh,
okay,
absolutely.
without a doubt. Go ahead.
Totally
It's
different.
very funny. It's very funny.
I'm on with a DJ in Los Angeles by the name of Melissa Max, and I'm Ken Anthony, and we do a show called We do a show called the Boobies and Puppies Show.
Ooh, wait a minute.
And, so it's not two dudes. It's one dude and one chick. And we like boobies and we like puppies. And it's kind of funny. So we're on YouTube as well. So check us out.
By the way, who do you think is the puppy lover and who's the boob lover?
Well, that's kind of a given. He's the puppy lover.
Exactly.
Oh, my
I'm
gosh.
the one who picked puppies. So Melissa picked boobies. So there you go.
Oh, there you go. Does she have nice boobies?
Well, you'll have to watch the show.
I guess I'm going to have to watch.
Check the link.
Here's a link.
Here's a link. All right, we're going to link to the video right there. Ken Anthony from All Access,
Thanks, guys.
KLOS
Thanks,
in
Ken.
Los
Appreciate
Angeles.
it.
We appreciate it. And we are Two Dudes Reviews.